make a deal with God, and I get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. Say if I only could. Come on, baby. Come on, darling. Let me steal this moment from you now. Come on, angel. Come on, darling. Let's exchange the experience. If I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, with no problems. Say if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, with no problems. Be running up that hill, if I only could. Be running up that hill, if I only could. Be running up that hill.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? It's your boy UAG here, back from a long fucking vacation. And so much has been happening in the home arcade scene, though I've kind of retired from that whole community. I was a big part of it, and I felt like I owed it to the community and the viewers that watched us to have a conversation about the state of that. And I want to say thank you for everybody who's joining in. Killer Cag, Anthony Vitale, my brother Billy, MGK, Jay Cuts, Chris C, all you cats. But I do have some guests, and a major foundation to the WRP that used to run with me, my dog, my brother from another mother. Let's bring my man in, my man OTG. What up, brother?
What's going on? I'm like, dude, stop with the intro. Fucking bring us on, man.
No, well, it's only right. We've been away so long. People's like, where this motherfucker been at? Yeah, I gotta get to that part.
Yeah, you just come in like nothing, man. It's all good, dude. It's I just felt like streaming today, man. So I'm glad I hit you up and you were down, man. And it's been a while.
We're here, baby. And
there's been a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, man. It's different. Let's say the landscape has changed dramatically. And one of these people that we're going to be joining has been kind of documenting this whole thing. So I felt like he would be an intricate part to this podcast. Let's bring on my man. Y'all may know him, Messiah, but I know him as Benson. What up, brother?
What's up, guys? How y'all been?
What's going on, bro? So you heard the intro. We're talking about the status, the state of the home arcade scene, and so much has changed. You got a company, being dissolved and gone, and the writing on the wall was a while. Arcade 1UP. Man, it seems like they're on the decline. The quality of their products and the community, which is really the big part of Arcade 1UP, has dwindled because you got a lot of cancers in the community that really brought down the fun.
Wait. We got to elaborate on that. When you say cancers in the community, what exactly are you talking about?
I'm talking about pieces of shit like Rexer and fucking Kev Gret the Midget. And then you got, Lawnmower Man, bitch ass. And then you got fucking Rocket
Who's
Raccoon.
Man? Because usually that's a smart person in a movie, right? Who's Lawnmower Man?
No. I'm talking about the guy who wants to talk about Gucci slides and he got a $5,000 basketball.
Wait. You keep saying the guy. Like who's the guy?
Everybody know who the fuck I'm talking about. Twisted
Just
bitch.
say it.
What? I don't pull no punches. Twisted bitch.
Man. Got a $500 basketball.
Yeah.
You talking about?
And I don't care. Yeah, that dude.
All right.
And then
I don't like the vagueness. That's it.
No, and then you got my man, the fucking Racket Raccoon that came, crawling out of fucking garbage can, and so these individuals.
Who's that?
He don't deserve for me to say his name. Everybody know Racket Raccoon.
I just want you to say names, UAG, but you know what? I gotta say, man, I'm gonna blame you, dude. You're the reason why they're back into existence, man. The drama that went down.
I have to agree. Yes, it is. They smelled the blood in the water. They were like, oh, it's time to come back. It's time to come back. So I apologize. I apologize for bringing the cancer back. But hey, in any growing, like OTG said this in the beginning, Travis said it, in any growing community, this is bound to happen. You have toxicity in every fandom, whether you're, following Marvel movies, DC, whether you're, fucking even the modern consoles, you have that. So it is what it is, unfortunately. But because this community is so small, I think it impacted more so. Because it really put a crack in the foundation of the community, and it was started to become no longer fun. And then without the fun, also having shitty products at the same time, that ain't help, bro.
Dude, I think the fun stopped a long time ago for me, at least. I always tease that when KI Pro came out, that was the peak. And it really was for me, man. I feel like a lot of the community has gone downhill. At least the camaraderie we had with fighting games and stuff like that with arcade went up. To me, everyone's experience is different, but I feel like it's going down pretty fast, man.
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm gonna say this
real quick. Seymour over here is telling console kids to get his sarcastic ass down to Texas for Texas Pinball Festival. That's an awesome festival. I went twice. I went last year and the year before. Definitely fun. Definitely a lot of good spots to eat. There's something about that area. It's over there near Arlington or in Dallas, Fort Worth area. What's it? Frisco? It's really nice.
Real quick, because Anthony, I think was it Anthony? Someone said that in the chat jokingly that the home arcade, aka Godly, said that, aka the pinball community, because that's what it's changed to.
Dude, only with I think Justin, Michael B, Kongs, like them is with the pinball. They got their own thing. I think it's pretty awesome, man. Whatever. Hey, console kids,
about who can afford
get your ass over there. Michael B is going. Everyone's going to Texas Pinball Festival. I usually go there by myself with a couple friends and enjoy it. I don't know if I'm gonna go this year. Probably will, more likely, but it's fun. Get your ass down there. You're going anyway. Stop, behave. Just stop it, man. Stop. Anyways,
it's a cool. Even if you're not like huge into pinball, like OTG is a fake pinball fan, but it's still enjoyable to go with friends and really like play, some of these games that you're never going to really see again, all in one centered place, and then being with a community that is like-minded, like the same shit like you. That's why Southern Fried Gaming was so big. And Mensa, you played us. You should have came, bro. Next year, I don't want to hear no excuses, bro. No excuses.
And anyone that's in Texas, there's one coming in November, an arcade expo. I've never been to, but I'm gonna go this year.
I didn't want to be arrested, so I couldn't come.
Listen, that clown stood in a box. So we gotta come on, bro. I gotta take you out of retirement. You gotta read that super chat from Console.
All right, super chat from Console Fanboy 499. Remember how humble and kind Rev was? He had 200 subs, then 300 subs. Was so nice, so grateful. We supported him a lot. What a different time. Yeah, dude, it was definitely a different time. It was cool, man. it was cool. I remember all those shows with Rev and all that stuff. I will never forget those good times. And then you know, people grow egos. It is what it is, man. Or people get too close to a company. Yeah, dude, a lot of shit has gone down since then. And I could sit here and talk shit, but that's not what we're here for. So yeah, I remember that.
But let's talk about that in a sense, OTG, because me and you and some other individuals, and they'll remain nameless, but if you know us, you know who they are. We was talking about how the community was.
Yeah.
And the community was freaking fun. There was a moment in time where everybody was just cool. They liked the same shit, and it was nobody, you know, bitching. I mean, we were all breaking. Rexer was cool with us. Rev was cool with. It was just the community was just cool.
Dude,
right?
You gotta remember during that time, the community wasn't that tight, so a lot of people were meeting people, and because the online aspect of Big Blue brought a lot of people together. I remember that's when I first saw you and MadDad's. I mean, you were doing what you do now, but I didn't know you. And what I mean by that is you were just sitting there while letting someone else, MadDad's, do all the work. He had got the Big Blue, and you were just sitting there. That's how I met you. You were just the guy in the corner telling them what to do. And then I remember Office Arcade came out around that time, and then it just was like fun, dude. And then you got stupid and added some wrestling theme with it, trying to get me in beef with Justin, and then you got Retro Ralph involved, and then we had like some stupid. We went crazy, right, with wrestling promos. That was the dumbest thing ever, but it was fun.
It was fucking
so
fun.
cheesy.
You couldn't even take yourself serious. You couldn't take yourself serious. Like this guy got shoe polish on his face.
Hey, I use real fucking paint. You're the one that.
No, I'm talking about myself, nigga.
Yeah, you shoe polish. Yeah. All right. Crotch Gamer saying he's hearing that I'm getting the Casino-cade. Hell no, we'll probably talk about that a little bit for sure when we get further with What Up, man.
But so what I was talking about, and then we would all watch the same. Everybody was talking about insert coin and high score and all this shit. Like we was all in unison, just like shit, jumping from stream to stream. We couldn't get enough of this stuff, and they were coming out with products that were. They weren't home runs, but there were improvements, and they were doing better, and they were listening to the community.
Yeah.
So was this before or after COVID?
This was during COVID.
This was
during COVID.
Like
COVID, COVID brought this.
Yes. Without COVID, this wouldn't even happen. This wouldn't even. It was like a perfect storm.
You think it had a lot to do with COVID? I don't know, man.
I definitely do.
Say that.
I think so because I think the PS5s are selling out because I really do. I think because of COVID, games got revitalization because of COVID. I was playing some freaking military game. I forgot the crap it was called. Tom Clancy one, but that was COVID related. It all got revitalized. And then same with this home arcade market. Everyone's stuck in their homes, rotten. And to me, it brought it back.
One reason I say it wasn't. I mean, COVID may have helped it, but during that time with Big Blue and stuff like that, when it got real big, I think it's because they were starting to look like the real design. Big Blue was like one of the cabinets. Like, holy shit, this looks like a weird version of a real arcade cabinet, but they're getting away from the shark fins and they were trying something different, promoting that online with a fighting game. I know the whatever Marvel's Capcom game was already out. But this was huge, Street Fighter, so it may have had a little bit of COVID, people having that extra money.
OTD, you're 100% right. But that wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for COVID. Like these individuals, like they were trying to find things to do. You no longer could go to the movies. You couldn't. There was no longer going to the movies. There was no longer going out to events. There was no longer going to dinner. People was doing stuff, man. I'm telling you, it really like took off then, and then like again those new features, the new additions.
People going back to work now. It's dying down.
And also you have a perfect storm. Like people no longer have the expendable income that they had when this first started. These things are getting really crazy in terms of costs. Food has went up 200%. You can't buy the same food that you bought when this first started till now in the supermarket. It's just crazy.
Oh, so now food's going up, man. It's just crazy with inflation. But you know what?
More stimulus checks. Yeah.
To mention real quick, what was interesting during that COVID time, I didn't know this, but when we were at Southern Fried Gaming, shout out to MGK and everyone out there at Southern Fried, man. Well, they're in Atlanta, man. Anyways, me and UAG went out there and we saw a film called it's coming out. It's called Token Taverns. It's really good. It kind of follows the barcade scene, and it was supposed to be like a documentary on them, but it turned into like a COVID thing. Like they started following them during the COVID thing of all the changes they did, and I didn't realize to make money, they had to do certain things, like certain like they had to turn into restaurants or rent out their actual machines, like deliver them to homes and stuff. It's crazy. Like I didn't know they were doing that, like to survive, and not all of them did survive. So it's a very interesting movie coming out. It should be coming out, I think. He said he was going to do something.
He said he's going to be releasing something this week, and then I believe like maybe a couple of days later they're going to be doing something on Amazon.
I believe Old School Gamer magazine did an interview with them.
Yep.
Gunther.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. Me and UAG got to see it. My only criticism would be just a little too long. That's it. That's about all I gotta say. If it was just shortened down like a little bit, but it wasn't overly too long, like fucking like, oh my God. But it was very good for sure. But that was interesting when you talk about COVID, is like during that time. But I just, maybe because I was working normal, I never got to like stay home. I was one of those workers that had to work through the whole thing. So maybe that's why I don't realize how bad
it was bad. But you know what was cool? While you're working, you can just have those things in the background. A lot of people probably got in trouble. Like my jobs was like, yo, are you even working? Like, what is those machines back there? I had to put up green screens. I had to turn, so that happened to a lot of people. Like, they were able to escape at home, though, some families were playing with it, but things changed, unfortunately.
Right. There it is. You say you talked about Token Taverns, and here comes Retro Ralph with a $5 super chat. Did someone say Token Taverns streaming on Vimeo, or what's it called? Is it Vimeo? How do you pronounce that? This Wednesday.
That sounds right to me.
Baby.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother from another mother coming through.
Dude, well, what is that, brother? Vimeo? I'm not too familiar. I feel like I've seen it. Is that the thing you could buy all the movies from? Because I think my friend gave me his password.
I think that was a application that was originally with Everything Everywhere from Walmart, and I think it switched over to
that's
that.
the one he had.
So,
he gave me his password with him. He had a lot of movies there.
Yeah, well, it's not a free to play. It's kind of like a centralized
you buy
place where you get your movies, and then everything basically pushes through there.
Yeah, I swear he said that it was like he bought a lot of DVDs and they had a lot of codes or some shit like that, or something. He built a library over time. I could have sworn he had me under his family or some shit. Dude, Voodoo. That's what I was thinking about. Voodoo. Sorry, that I'm so confused. I confused those. Okay. That's it.
So then let's talk about the other company. The stinker of the bunch. We had IRK, and I think this is also a contributing factor on why the community basically crumbled, because you had a bunch of fanboys here that they couldn't take criticism of their products, and ultimately was enabling this company to keep on producing garbage and saying that it's okay. And then you got a bunch of YouTubers, I'm not going to name names, but they all gave that fake support, right?
Name names. I like it when you name names.
They gave fake support, and there's a bunch of them right now. No, Papa Brad, yes, but there's other ones that are cool, but they still give fake support.
Well, like who? Say the names. Be open.
I'm not going that way.
Even say names. They want to hear
names. You know who they are. And what I'm saying is, that what they do is folks. Yeah, no, they're not even that. They're people that just say, like they'll show the hell out of Arcade One Up, be like, there's nothing that they could do wrong.
Okay. And that was you, man.
No,
Arcade One Up.
I at least gave criticism.
Nah, dude.
Yes,
you showed pretty hard, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not gonna say that I wasn't shilling, but I'm gonna say that I at least gave constructive criticism. Whether you were smart enough to understand what it was, OTG, that's another story.
You're just throwing shit out there, man. No. You used to shill pretty hard. You probably couldn't see it, man.
Listen, I admit that I shilled, but I also gave criticism. Now call a spade a spade. You don't want to give me credit. You can hop off my cock. It's okay.
Dude, I think everyone knows you showed. I was the one that tried to.
You can keep on. You can keep on. It's all right. You have your opinion, and I have the truth.
Thanks, Billy.
But what I would say is that those individuals came in. You had a new influx of new YouTubers that couldn't. They couldn't, do anything, and I think that contributed to the downfall of the community. Listen, I still think that the community could strive, but I don't know. I know we got another $5 super chat, brother. Hit me up with that one.
All right, console fanboy. Look, with the encoder or not, I think he's talking about Team Encoder, right? Their little product they put out, iArcade is dead. Let it die. Why do people live in the past? Move on. iArcade is dead, and it's okay. Things die.
Here's my issue with that comment, because the very people UAG was just talking about, they're not dead. They're alive and well, and they're moving on. They're pressing. It's not going to die until they shut it down. So us talking on it doesn't change these facts.
Yeah. Mensa and OTG, I want to ask you. I was talking to OTG the other day. I made this comment. I said that there was a moment in time, like I was saying, that everything was perfect. You try to live in that moment, you try to recreate it, but it will never happen again. OTG gave me that. OTG told me that. He was like, listen, that enjoy what it was, but you have to let go, because it will never happen again. You have to move on.
There's other experiences, stuff in that, but I guess we live in the past anyway, us old man over here. But dude, with the arcade, I just want to real quick go over what console fanboy, his question, like let it die. There's a thing though, like whenever you're able to mod something, especially something like this, like the arcade that it died, it's cool, man. Like if I had one, I would kind of be into it. But the same thing, it's becoming so much like you can mod anything like a PC or whatever, but it's still a standalone console. So I could understand if they have one, they're having fun, they're doing their own thing,
and I think new life to it.
I think it's their little thing. It's a small community, and I don't know why it bothers you, console fanboy. I don't even notice it. Like
he has hate for that company, so he can't let it go. He's like the scorned girlfriend. He's like the scorned girlfriend, and he can't let it go. He's gotta hate. He's looking at the what you call it, the posts of his ex-girlfriend, like, oh, they're going out. They're doing that. They're doing this. That's who he is. I love him.
He made KFB,
but he can't let go.
It made him.
Yeah. Like somebody sent me a post that Street Fighter the game is on there, and I was like, cool. Like if I had one, I would be pretty stoked about it, but I don't. I haven't seen anything that makes me want to get one. If I still had mine, I would be probably doing some stuff. But
if I could get one for $25, that's my limit. $25, I'd get it. Other than that,
so J Cut says he has hate for games. Is an AOU available at Family Dollar yet?
well listen. This one is for console fanboy. I heard they're building the Death Star, so Mensa, you reported this. I saw this. You told me the only valuable part of iArcade is coming to ad games. Is that can you know who I'm talking about? I forgot what his name. Mike something. What's his
Michael
name?
Sparbag.
Yeah, he's over there.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We got one of the Godfathers here. We got to bring him in. My man, old man Ruckus. What's up, brother?
My brothers.
What's up, man?
Oh, my brothers all in one room, man. It's good to see. It's good to see everybody.
What's going on, boss man?
We're over here talking about how my man Mike, right? What's his name again?
Mike Swabek?
Yeah, he's over there going to ad games, and he's bringing his expertise over to ad games. What do you guys
I like him though. I like Michael.
what do you guys expect from him coming over? Like, what is he bringing? The
I
relationship
have
that he
very
had?
high expectations over there. So you guys know I used to work there, and I was there, as a dev. I wasn't there for the same role as Mike is in, but Mike's doing the same thing he was doing over with iArcade, and I believe he can really flourish over there at games better than he did over at iArcade. I believe to a full extent.
Be paid.
That he'd be paid because I'll tell you this: PK pays very well. Very well.
Them checks cleared. Them checks cleared. Okay.
Them checks
The checks always cleared. I'll say this: PK's checks always cleared. But with Mike going over there, with the things that I'm still under NDA, that now he knows exactly what I'm talking about. I really see great things coming out of there. I wish my brother the best. I have super high expectations over there now, and I hope that he's damn sure better get that killer instinct out.
Man,
Hey,
listen,
UAG.
that's a big move. What's up, brother? Shoot.
Speaking of getting cleared or checks being cleared, just to let you know, just throw this fact that in case you want to ask me any question, is I was in the room where it happened. It's called a 341 meeting, bankruptcy meeting. I was there on the line.
So,
in case you got any questions for me.
So that's actual. There's no speculation. There's no thought that
Yes.
that went down.
Correct.
And so when they filed for bankruptcy. What's the next move for them? Did they sell the company, the assets that they have left?
That I don't know what's next. All I can tell you is the facts of what occurred on the line. From what my understanding is, when he filed, and what I read, he filed that he had no assets.
No assets.
No assets. But that is not what he reported during the meeting.
So who does he still owe money to?
Ooh, quite a bit, because it's on. I got a Pacer account, so it's public knowledge. It's not like this is top secret information. This is all public information, ready to anybody who just wants to, spend the time to look it up. It's minuscule money, like in the sense of like a couple thousand here and there to different folks, but it adds up. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's a long laundry list of
how much in the red how much in the red were they? Like, how much was their end
This
balance?
guy's been taking out loans since the beginning of time. He took out a PPP loan right off the rip during COVID. He took out a COVID
I would have done that
PPP
though.
loan.
But yeah.
Well, check this out. In order to take that out, you have to admit and testify the fact that if you did not have that money, the company would have crumbled right off the rip. But when he filed for this, he already had at least $10 to $16 million in A-series funding. And he's immediately taking this out before he even launches the company.
Okay. Well,
I'll say this, before we get any speculations, I also got PPP loan for a bash, and we also didn't have any money. So we're gonna tell you, we were notoriously broke. That was pretty much our thing, is that we were notoriously broke, and we had nothing.
Well, I mean, you gave everybody the family discount, bro. That was your problem.
Yeah.
Now, but we're gonna step away from that because I don't want to get too much in the weeds with that. But so iArcade fell at games. They were quiet for a while, but it looks like it's their time to move up. It looks like it's time to move up. I saw a video of the new 4K pinball.
Yeah.
It looks very promising, but not everybody's going to be interested in that. So
there's one thing that I think at games just hasn't gotten right yet, but they could. It's something very easy. It's their interface to make it easy.
Well, they did a new revamp of that.
Has it come out already?
They showed it off on the on that pinball, and I'm assuming they're doing something similar for the new machine.
Dude,
and
that's what they need, man.
Listen, maybe Mike's, he was working on that on iArcade. Maybe he took some of that knowledge and he's going to bring it over.
I'll tell you this. There is a few things. Well, now Arcade's gone. So Mike had this idea for a dev area, and he had a whole new interface plan. Mike had a lot of decent plans, and I feel like he had a lot of. There was a lot of tying his hand behind his back because there was only so much he could do, But believe me, because I've talked to him a few times, just on the developer side, and it was just like, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that, and it's a lot of vetting, but ultimately, you got to remember, Mike comes from AAA studios. He's by trade a developer. This is his thing. He's come from Bethesda. This was his thing.
What was the thing tying him down? His hands behind his back, financial, situation there.
See, I don't know. I can't say for certain, but it was just a lot of. He had a lot of great ideas that I think would have helped, and I think would have made things better, made quality of life changes better for the arcade in general. That I feel like we'll see it, and we'll see those things coming in at games because they're PK gives a lot of freedom, for then he has a super strong QA team. Rob Mayer, big ups to him, and Debbie and all, that whole team. He has a strong marketing team.
Bill, listen, I got to tell you this, bro, because I love you. When you say that, it sounds good, but I used to experience some shitty ass freaking updates on there. So if their QA team was good, they would have caught some of that shit. They would have caught some of that shit. It was a pistol. You play the update game and your shit breaks every other time. But I will say that from what I've heard, it has gotten better.
Oh yeah.
So I listen. They have a lot of potential, and it seems like now that we can't say for sure, but if everybody done reported, and OTG did a fucking awesome video about John D departing from Arcade 1UP, if that's the truth, it's gonna be the fucking Wild West, and everybody can
I cannot comment on that. Mince is right there, and I guarantee you, there's like 5 or 6 people with guns pointed at me right now.
No.
See, I don't know if you can see if this is
and I don't want you to, but we can't speculate. We can't speculate because there was a couple of things, that little nuggets that freaking Jason put together, very well, and saying basically Cyrus is the senior VP now.
Oh yeah,
he's
Travis
a senior
put that
VP,
out,
right?
Yeah.
And this and that. It just looks. It looks. I'm not saying that it is because I don't know, but if that's the case, it's going to be the fucking Wild West, and everybody, because John D was the gatekeeper of the license. He was cutthroat. That's why he's the best at what he does. But if he's no longer gatekeeping that, it's whoever's pockets is deeper. Actually, and right now, Ad Games got the deepest pockets out of everybody.
Dude, this is the biggest thing about Killer Instinct. It's such a good license for them to get. I love the crap out of that game, but the fact that Arcade 1UP got it, worked with Code Mystics, has the online down. Code Mystics made it better by the spectate mode and all that. And I haven't seen I don't want to say it's not possible. It is possible that At Games could come up with something that the online could be good, but I'm just worried about it, man. And I'm worried about if people are going to want to fork money over again. So it's going to have to be something really good about that cabinet. I think it's going to be expensive. I don't know, man.
OTG, would you be hyped? Would you be hyped if they can be able to cross over? Like you could play a person on At Games product, and they could play on
that would be the shit, dude. I didn't even think about that. That would be cool. I
don't know if that's even possible because it's the servers that I don't know if Code Mystic owns those servers or if it's on Arcade 1UP's and would they even do it?
Arcade 1UP infrastructure over in AWS, and I can't say the full where everything else is, but just the stuff that I know that I worked on, that was they're all in AWS. So they have it's almost like how Xbox Live works and PlayStation and all that, where it's like they have an infrastructure. You have to use Arcade 1UP to sign in, but then that sign in is just for registration and security purposes. Then you go off to wherever you go. It's just like with iArcade, the same thing. We use iArcade for specific things for signing in. Once you sign in, get your user account, and you're gonna you go from there. You go to a different spot.
So how are you implementing crossplay with iArcade? freaking Steam and Arcade One Up, like on the bowling? How are you doing that? And is that something that can be easily accessible for ad games to try to pursue?
Here's the thing: the crossplay between iArcade, Arcade One Up, and even at games, all that's so at games in Steam is technically one set of infrastructure, and Arcade One Up, and iArcade is all Android anyway. So the actual crossplay is Android versus PC. The kicker now is where I guess we can talk about it now. The Switch version coming out. The Switch version where it'll be it's basically going to have different registration and sign in, but it's still coming to our servers. We're still responsible for the servers being up. It's just like Street Fighter 6. You're not going to go to Sony and say, hey, Street Fighter 6 ain't working. You got to go to Capcom and say Street Fighter 6 isn't working.
Okay. Well, from the way you're making it seem, I don't think that crossplay is possible.
UAG.
It's very possible. So here's the thing: crossplay isn't a technological problem; it's a political problem.
Yeah,
it's where.
But what's the incentive for Arcade One Up to do it? No, they have no incentive.
So the incentive with Arcade One Up nowadays, it wouldn't be so much to play with at games because Arcade One Up has games that at games doesn't have. The incentive would be for Arcade One Up to play with Fightcade, which is very, very doable because they all run on different versions of GGPO anyway. And, because they run on that same platform for netcode, it's a lot easier to
It's possible. That's a possible thing.
Yeah, it's extremely possible. In fact, I would be surprised if there wouldn't be a hack coming pretty soon. And it's not coming from me. I'm not teasing anything, but, somebody is going to pick up on the fact that, one, the emulator for Marvel 2, for example, is the same exact emulator already in Fightcade. The netcode is the same exact netcode in Fightcade already. It's just it's a political thing. It's not a technological thing at this point. It's just you're pointing here instead of you're pointing there. And once it points here, it'll work. Now, the big problem right now is the rollback in the Android version is horrible versus the one on Fightcade, which is on PC. Once they get that working and in tandem, then it'll work better.
But that sounds like money, and we already know Arcade One Up don't want to spend that money. They don't want that bad. They're more interested in selling units and not keeping people on the
with
units.
at games, we got to be realistic. Get the online good first.
That's
seen
1,000%.
And
that's why I'm no longer doing it. It's too stressful. That shit was too stressful. You rolling the dice to see if that shit's gonna work.
But the big question is, people say they know you have Ugly Betty still, UAG, and are you gonna upgrade to this one?
Ugly Betty is on his last leg. She was good. She was a good hoe, but she gotta go. And it depends on that price point. That price point's gotta be perfect. It's got to be under 500. I believe it's going to probably be 600 to 700, but I wouldn't get it till it's under 500, and it probably will eventually.
So
and I'm in no rush.
I've had this conversation with multiple high-level people in the scene. PK, I've had it with John D. Me and John D talked about this a couple days ago. The arcade scene is being completely rehashed over and over and over and over. And what's the only thing that can change it is if you change the games, because all they're basically selling, especially tastemakers, all together, you're selling a cabinet with pictures on it, because no matter what you put on here, you're going to put whatever game you want to play on this machine. No matter what you get Simpsons Bowling because you got a trackball. You're going to put whatever game you want to play on there. You get Big Blue. You're going to put Mortal Kombat on there. You get the Mortal Kombat machine. You're going to put Time Crisis on there. You get Time Crisis. You're going to put something else on there. Just like this guy said, Arcade One Up sells wood. That's what they sell. They sell cabinets, and the cabinets themselves has pretty pictures. You're not going to do anything different until you change the game and you change what happens when people buy these cabinets. I said the only real game changer would be is if somebody somehow gets Nintendo or Capcom starts allowing the third strikes or something like that. And even third strike in Street Fighter 4, you're not going to change the game. Still Street Fighter. You're not going to change the game until you get Nintendo.
Let me just answer this question real quick. I can confirm that he has not purchased.
He has not, and he has no interest in it. I've talked to John D about purchasing iArcade. John D toyed around with the idea. He said no because, this was right before he went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So it's probably not a good idea.
I think he was talking about the user base is just not big enough for it to really make a financial dent. And I think that's what he was talking about in terms of another company taking it over. Maybe him personally, it would be a little bit more interesting depending on the price. But I don't think that's happening. We do got a $2 super chat. Let me read this real quickly. $2 super chat from Console Fanboy. Calls Street Fighter 6 what it is, a Fortnite kitty game. Street Fighter 6 sucks. You're such a hater, but I can't argue that it may seem a little.
The fighting
kiddish.
mechanics of Street Fighter 6, you can't touch them, man.
No.
It's
an awesome game.
I will tell you this, and this is the first year I've ever been able to say this. Street Fighter 6, execution-wise, is harder than Mortal Kombat 1. And I say this, being, and even on Street Fighter 6, I'm already ranked master. So it's not like it's coming from, a different place. Yeah. Mortal Kombat 1, from the beta, it was just easy to pick up and play. Extremely easy. Street Fighter completely changed, it's easier to play with certain characters. And people say, especially with me playing with Marisa, but you got certain characters on there where it's harder. You got a higher level of skill that doesn't get in there. So Street Fighter 6 is actually more harder execution wise than Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, granted, nobody tops King of Fighters 15.
Can I ask you a question real quick, because you're well versed in the FGC, and I want OTG's thought on this too. I remember when I first played X-Men versus Street Fighter on the fucking arcade 1-up, and I hated that game the first 5 minutes I played because I couldn't touch the fucking ground. They just comboed my ass out. I'm sorry, but fucking Mortal Kombat with this new combo system is making me feel that way. It's almost unblockable combos in this bitch because they got the overhead, so you thinking you're blocking. Nah, bitch. Fucking Johnny Cage fucking hit you with that overhead and you fucking bounce off the ground and you fucking don't touch nobody for the whole game.
Mortal Kombat 9 style.
Yeah, so Mortal Kombat 9 was great though, man.
Do you think that this game is going to live up to the hype, the MK1, or like are they going to make some adjustments? Because as of right now, to me, I think it's a big difference between high level and just an average player. Average players are going to get their ass whooped online.
That's a staple of Mortal Kombat. The skill gap. It's kind of like Guilty Gear is probably a better example. You're either the worst player in the world or you're the greatest player in the world. There is no in between. And I've seen that with Mortal Kombat 1. At least with Mortal Kombat 1, the single player, from what I've seen in the back ends, it looks like it's pretty decent. It's pretty it's pretty in depth to where you don't have to focus so much on the multiplayer side where you would on Street Fighter or you would on Tekken. But with Mortal Kombat 1, it's kind of the same thing. You're either greatest or you're horrible. And there is no in between.
And the thing, I think, whenever it gets online, it's going to be a lot like MK11 where you got ranking and you can lose and go up and down ranks. So it kind of keeps you at your skill level. Even though it's not as great, I think, as Street Fighter, what they have as their ranking system, but I think this one, it should be better than 11.
Street Fighter's ranking system sucks. So
you think it sucks? I think it's like really good because I always get players that are like, make me strive. They give me competition. Like it's always, I don't know. I like
Street Fighter, the first time I played, I started in Platinum, and then every other character after that started in Diamond. So I never restarted at the bottom. And and I got 2 characters now sitting in Master. So, but Master is a whole different ranking system now. Now you don't have.
That sounds like a you problem. We ain't on that level. We ain't on that level.
So now you have your MRs. And now your MRs is where you start getting ranked with other people. So it's like, for me, I still pretty much rank where I did in Street Fighter 5, where I was at Ultra.
We got a question for you, bro. What do you think of Blaze Blue?
Blaze Blue is one of my favorite anime games. I love Blaze Blue. I've never been the greatest at Blaze Blue. I think that's why I like it so much, because I'm somewhere in the middle in that game. I'm not really that great in that game, but at the same time, it's more fun for me. I like Blaze Blue. I really like Blaze Blue cross tag battle, but I knew I was going to like Blaze Blue because I like Guilty Gear.
Okay.
Prince,
So
my guy.
now, OTG.
MK
I don't know if
Board's
you
the best, yes.
I don't know if you played the beta. I was on the beta and I got my ass lit up. From people who I thought I was supposed to wash.
All right.
So
I'm
what do you
gonna tell you
think?
about the beta. I was gonna play it. In fact, I bought a PS5 just to play the beta, and I'm not gonna do it. I decided instead with my money, I bought a MK4 board instead of pre-purchasing that, and I'm just gonna probably get it on PC and maybe later get it on PS5. I think I'm gonna go PC first, even though that's probably the wrong decision because it's probably gonna suck for a week or two on PC. But we'll see, man.
My nigga, you made me buy fucking PlayStation. Dude, I bought it on Xbox.
Oh, buy it on
And
PC
he told
also.
me, no, he said, buy it on PlayStation. I'm gonna get a PlayStation.
But then
And
I'll buy it on
now he's telling me
PlayStation.
he's
Well,
gonna
no,
buy
no,
it.
no,
Wait a month. But I'll buy it on PlayStation.
But it's gonna eventually. In the beginning, they said that it probably won't. It probably be a
Dude.
month. He played me.
I'm gonna buy it. You don't buy it on PC too.
No,
And that's what I
I'm
hate
not
on
buying it
purpose.
on no PC.
Alright,
You already sandbagged me with the PS5.
Hey, check this out. What I really think is on purpose they didn't put crossplay at launch because they know a lot of people are gonna double dip to play with their friends and stuff like that.
Yes.
And
Like
they're
me, the sucker.
greedy bastards, man. Street Fighter day one crossplay, you know. It sucks,
Sucker.
man.
You
Now,
got
Street Fighter
got
Day
me.
One crossplay was a mistake. It was horrible. It was bad. Even the beta was bad. So
Yeah,
I knew that was
But
bad. They
I
got it
think the
together.
ability of giving that though, man.
Yeah.
At least they tried and they fixed it what they could. I think I only played with people on PC, so I don't know how it works, but at least they offered it, and I assume it works. But yeah, dude, Mortal Kombat, they're like, we're gonna do it later, maybe, and it's probably gonna be shitty, like MK11 crossplay. You have to go on. It's so confusing. It's like a chart. Only certain systems are cross playing with certain ones. You gotta go to
bring
certain
out a
lobby.
cheat sheet. Like,
And when PC's not
yes,
cross playing
no,
with any
maybe.
of those, it's so stupid.
Oh, come on, brother. You got another
All right.
one.
49 super chat from the only console fanboy question for Bill. Are you upset for being in my John D. Jerry Maguire video? And if not, would you ever work with John D if he starts a new company?
So I cannot comment on that question. Again, Messiah's right here. I can't talk about that right now.
I mean, okay. But I can say something. I know that Bill has been good friends with John D for a while, so
Yeah. If you read the cookie crumbs, I was talking to him the other
you
day.
never know. If you never know, you might see him do a little project with you now and then. But listen, I'm gonna respect the man. He say he can't say nothing, but I can.
I
Anyway.
will tell you this: John D knows good and well. He can call me anytime he feels like it, and he will. Anytime he feels like it, and we will work on whatever it is. It's in his head, or it's half time it's in my head. But there's, I will tell you this: John D is an amazing friend, and it's everybody knows how we started. But I think what's happened within the past couple of weeks with us has really changed the game a lot. And I need him to come out, and talk about it because it's going to shock the hell out of everybody. What happened?
I want to talk about this and my thinking. I think that the landscape. This is why I really wanted me and OTG and you guys to come on. I think the whole landscape of home arcade is going to change. We really are a subdivision of what retro gaming, right? It really is retro gaming. And I think retro gaming has always morphed itself. We had, the mini consoles. We had the Pi thing. We have all these, little knickknacks that's on Amazon that you could get 500 the Pandora boxes. And I think that a new thing is coming. And I'm excited for it to morph into something bigger and better. And if I know anything, I know that this is gonna always be changing. And what OTG, what would you want as a retro gamer to be the next step to kind of keep retro gaming alive?
Shit, man. What would I want? I would want online play on my Mister. That's what I would want. But I
coming,
really
bro.
don't know, man. Dude, as far as cabinet wise, you're saying like this, like the arcade, like retro
I'm
arcade
saying
scene?
anything. I'm talking about retro gaming. Like we are retro gaming. So imagine if you can play like Fightcade, right? On another thing, like whether it's your Xbox or PlayStation. I think what we limit ourselves is one of the things that happened when Marvel versus Capcom 2 came out, the FGC, there was a subdivision that was excited about it, and then there was a division that was really upset because they said you really didn't free it because $600 is a lot of money to play that game. If you really wanted to unlock it, you would have it for $30 and let it be on Xbox and let everybody be able to play it. You lower down the entry fee to get into the thing. What if that is the next step? What if you be able to play these games, if you will, online on a Xbox or a PlayStation?
Wait, what are you gonna have to pay? A monthly fee? You're gonna be limited? No
No,
Nintendo,
what you would have to do? You buy the game and you have your online subscription. You have your PlayStation Plus, your Xbox Game Pass.
But you're limited to the games, right? On licensing, not like you're gonna be buying a Nintendo game or something like that. I'm so confused on.
You probably won't buy Nintendo games, but you know Capcom is on.
Arcade.
You already know that Capcom is on all platforms.
I don't know.
They're on PlayStation. They're on Xbox.
I don't know. I think how many times are you gonna buy it? I think what they're doing is fine. A lot of people want something simple, but if there is some kind of a like what you're I think you're kind of trying to say on console/PC, some kind of a app or something where you connect with other people playing console games, like kind of like a ant stream. You saying or what? Something similar to that?
What I'm thinking about is, let's say, like a particular title. Like what? Let's say that, because they always hinted there's a possibility that if you sold enough cabinets that you could be able to sell the actual game. What if they said that Blitz can be on all systems? You don't have to have it on the arcade 1-up. What if you could buy it on Xbox and play the people on them on an arcade 1-up?
That wouldn't happen.
That would be a developer.
Why wouldn't it happen?
More than
no late hits, no buy.
Let's take Blitz. Blitz is probably a really good example of this. And I would say when happened, I would say there's a lot of roadblocks for it happening.
They have probably a moment of exclusivity, right?
Not really that, because even if you take that out the way, let's say you got a year exclusivity with Blitz, and Blitz is owned by EA. And then you have to go through the NFL. The NFL, you go through to get the NFL licensing. You go through EA to get their MGs. Then you have to be able to put out their then you have to be able to put out everything else from there. Then you need a minimum amount of people who are going to buy it. Let's say with Blitz, you might get 30,000 people, for PlayStation, Xbox. You might even get 100,000 to buy it. Now you still have to support it. You have to make sure it's working. You have to make sure everything else is from there. And from Blitz, the new arcade version doesn't even have what it's even more limited than the most recent one they put out on PlayStation 3 and Xbox. So you would have a lot of people complaining, and then you couldn't make it that expensive. You can't put it out there at $59.99. You'd have to put it out there between
it had to be around $30 the max, right?
$30. People aren't going to spend $30 on it. They would spend $25 maybe, and that's if
people
it came with
that much.
older games. So
hey, I like what Paul's saying over here. Paul's saying, no nostalgia in that. I want a nostalgic cabinet controls and designs. That's why people bought 4 million copies of Arcade 1-Up's crap.
They're at 5 now. They're at 5, amazingly.
You know what? I agree to that. Like, no one wants just a game. Like, when I look at Street Fighter 30th anniversary, that's a whole collection of a bunch of games you could get cheap, and you could play those online, and they're arcade ROMs.
OTG and Bill, you're telling me right now.
But let me finish what I was gonna say. The online, you can't catch any games. Nobody's online. Me and Damien, one person was online when we were playing. It's like, dude, I don't know, man. And that's a whole collection of games cheap.
So this is the question I have for you guys. You're telling me right now that if Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out and it could be on all systems, that it wouldn't sell like hotcakes?
Yeah,
Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I don't think it would. I don't
You
think
don't think it
Marvel
would?
2 would. I
Look,
think
it's all depending on the price. All depending
Yeah.
on the price. If it was $20 and crossplay, it would sell all day.
oh yeah,
All
yeah.
day.
But you can't sell Marvel 2 at $20 because Disney's not going to get their money, Capcom's not going to get their money, and then the crossplay. So you got to play the crossplay tax for PlayStation and Switch. So they're not going to get all their money. The price you would have to sell it for what you would get from it, it's not going to be worth it for the developer. They would have to really love the community. I would have to put this out in order for this to actually come out.
Here's the issue with the community. It's unpopular opinion. These are toys. Okay? They're 3/4 scales. These are all toys. And the thing is, for a lot of people, I'm gonna be real, they can't afford it. You got people until it breaks down to like, $50, like there's an item in the IRK right now and they're crying. Oh, why couldn't you sell it earlier? I gotta wait till the next paycheck. I'm like, $30. If that's the case, you shouldn't be buying none of it. This is a very niche area.
I have to agree with you.
Is on their luck.
Here's the thing.
I'll
tell you this: there's a reason why At Games has the biggest selling thing, and us with the MVSX was probably next in line. You know why? Because they're open. Now, I did things the wrong way with the MVSX initially, but ultimately, it was open. That's why it sells. The product, without the
and it never went on sale, but $50.
Yeah, and if you take the halo stick out of the equation, now there's people doing better things than we ever thought of, and it's still selling. So the MVSX being open has always been a draw. At Games, with the coin ops, with everything from in there, with how it's open, that's why At Games sells.
Bill, you know what you noticed though?
Mhm.
Those two companies, why those companies are still relevant is because of the community that backed it and made it what it is. And that's why I think that though I hate the company, IRK may thrive because of that in its second life, because of the community that built it. I think Arcade went up with the modding, that helped build it to what it was. Because let's their game lineups again, rehashes, but it's the community that made it grow. And now that you have a fracture in the community, what does that look like for this community? I think all these companies, they're hanging on a string.
I'll tell you this: it's not as big a fracture as you think it is, by far.
Okay,
and that's all I'm saying on that one. But with all these companies, with IRK leaving, the thing is, people really like Jung. Hate him or love him, Jung was liked. Jung was appreciated. People liked what Jung did. Now, ultimately, with IRK, and even why it's still surviving to this day, is because people like what IRK can do. And now that it's open, I think IRK would have been able to really sell. That's probably why, it's why it's going out now. That's why it's hard to find. That's why scalpers are getting it now, because now with that mystery encoder hack, do whatever you want. Now it's open, and you would be surprised to see how many people are trying to still get legitimate ROMs on the system. So it's not even a piracy thing. It's the fact that people want something that you can open up. Xbox One was never modded, was never hacked. Why it wasn't hacked? Didn't need to be. The developer option was open. Nobody cared about piracy on the Xbox because you had Game Pass. And piracy, to download an Xbox One game in the Xbox Series X game, they're like 100 gigs. Nobody wants to sit there and pirate a game where you can just spend $10 and get the Game Pass and you'll have it right there. So piracy right now PlayStation 4 is different. PlayStation 4 is hacked to hell. And people will sit there because it's not open. And people will pirate it because it's not open. When you open up your systems, you would be surprised.
You're talking too smart for us. Okay, okay, Bill. You got to break it down to terms. Do you think that?
Let's look at it like this: the more you leave your system open for hacks, the less it's hacked. And there's how it always works. Nintendo Switch.
You're basically saying it's like the parent that says, "Don't do something." If you don't tell your kid, "Don't do it," they're just not going to do it. They don't care.
Exactly.
More the fact you're giving people freedom.
When you give people the freedom to do whatever they want, You'd be surprised. at this-
OTG is too quiet here, bro.
You'd be
Huh.
He's
surprised
saying
at
that
this
he's
world.
falling asleep. We gotta spice this shit up.
So
All right.
let's look at CoinOps. CoinOps X on At Games versus, the games that people At Games buy. At Games sells a lot of games. At Games still sells a lot of their ROMs, but they have CoinOps, and it's like, why do it when you could just get CoinOps? It's because when you get the system, you just want something different. You don't necessarily want what they always have.
That's why I'm a type motherfucker, and that's the only reason why I have an At Games is because of fucking CoinOps. If the CoinOps
No, you
wasn't
got
available,
that
I
because
wouldn't
you're
even fucking
cheap.
have it.
You're
Yeah.
cheap. That's why you
This
got
is
it,
cheap.
motherfucker.
But now,
You're
cheap.
think about this though. With At Games and with the MVSX, you can play whatever you want to play on there. And for a lot of those people who can't get multiple cabs, can't have a whole cab open, that draw of being able to just throw CoinOps on the At Games or being able to throw the high stick on the MVSX, it's just you can play whatever you want. You're only you're buying a system because you're buying a system, and you're going to put whatever you want to put on there anyway. Doesn't matter. You're going to mod your system if it's not open. You're going to do whatever you want to do with your system because technology in this day and age, it allows you to do that. If you got something
That's true.
you don't.
That's
want
true.
it
But the
because-
only reason why I got it because of the CoinOps, and I got it at a deal because the
Because
owner
you're
was an
cheap.
idiot. Hey, it's not my fault. I came up on someone else's fucking problems. They
I
don't know how to read the
love you, but
instruction
you
manual.
never give me a deal. So fuck
Hey,
you.
what do you mean never give you the? I offered you a deal, and what? I became
UAG's
nothing.
the cheapest person
That's
I've
why
ever
my man's
met.
called deal with it.
He fucking
First of
ignored
all,
me.
who
ignored me.
discovered the fucking peasant version? Your cheap ass self. So shut up.
Peasant version.
He knows what the peasant version is. It's the OTG, is the
Oh my
original
God.
peasant
Do I have to explain
version
myself
owner.
on that? Dude, I'm the only one with a pro. When you shield the fuck out of the pro, I would get it. I would get it for $1,000.
I never. No, I didn't.
I'm the fucking one with the pro. So shut the fuck up when
You're
you talk
fucking
about peasant.
lying.
Get the
You're
fuck outta
lying.
here.
Don't lie to people. I said no way would I get that at that
Nah,
price.
we can rewind it back and shield. When
There's
you
no
shilled out
way. There's no
before
way.
the pro came out, if Arcade Went Up came out with a pro, would you get it? I probably was the only one that said no, and I ended up buying it.
I
You-
bought the
you-
Killer Instinct Pro, and I didn't buy it because of Killer Instinct, because I got Killer Instinct on literally everything, including my own. I actually have a Killer Instinct board, but I
Board, you want to
wanted
get
a
rid of it?
better- I wanted a better machine to play Third Strike on, and that's what I got it for.
So I
Yeah,
have
because-
a question for you because OTG is really sour grapes about that unit. Do you think it was worth the $1,000 that you paid for it? You can be honest. John D is on
Straight
a beach somewhere, so he doesn't
Basuda.
care. So do you think it was worth the G?
Yes and no. I say yes because the cabinet itself I would have spent $1,000 for. If it was only to play Killer Instinct, no. And I don't think I just don't feel like Killer Instinct is $1,000 game. I feel like if they're going to spend $1,000, they should have either A, waited for Mortal Kombat 4, or B, unveiled Third Strike or something.
You just killed a little part of OTG's soul when you said that game is not worth $1,000. He cried a little bit.
The thing about Killer
It's
Instinct,
not.
it's Killer Instinct, and the Killer Instinct is a great game, but it's not something that the FGC is going to go crazy for. Now,
Yeah.
granted, my homegirl Pink Diamond, she's probably going to kill me for saying that, but because that's her, her claim to fame. But Killer Instinct itself, the two old school ones, nah.
right.
Even with if they would have thrown
He's crying. He's crying.
I gotta talk on it, but I'm late to finish.
He's crying.
If
No,
they
I
would've
agree
thrown
with
in
him.
The new Killer Instinct, which I feel like they could do with at $1,000 price point, I feel like they could have done the new Killer Instinct. Because if you take Polycade, for example, Polycade, the $2,000 machine, could play the new Killer Instinct. So you could have done Killer Instinct at a lower rate with the same screen and done the newer Killer Instinct with this level of hardware.
Yeah. Well, what I think on the Killer Instinct, as far as Arcade Went Up, they fucked up when they did the first 3/4 scale. Putting it at 700 was stupid, and announcing the Pro at 1,000. Now, I'm not sure if they said 1,000, but it ended up being 1,000. Everyone already knew it was going to be 1,000. I think a fair price would have been maybe 700 to 800 for that, 8, and then gone on sale and sold out. Like actually brought it down after a few months. But I have the $1,000 cabinet. No way is it worth it to me. I do love it though. It is my favorite cabinet. Like I love to play on it. Code Mystics did a great job. Now, is it worth $1,000? Hell no. But the PCB for a real arcade, which I got the real arcade and I don't have the PCB, but I got the real arcade though. I think it's worth $1,000, that PCB. like for sure. So I love that game though. Like the real arcade version, I believe, like it would be worth it. But as good as the emulation is, it's still a little off.
You can't
no matter
fully
what.
emulate Killer Instinct because Killer Instinct didn't run at 60 frames a second. It ran at like 59.9997 or something like that.
It's a
But there
little
was a reason
slower
behind
when-
that logic, and that kills the game. And sometimes, like when you're playing it, you can't ever fully get to where you want to get to. I guess maybe it's just me, for games. That's why I can't play Marvel 2 on the arcade 1-ups because it'll never feel right trying to play it the same way, and I play at a high level, so it's like when I'm trying to play.
You brought this up, and I'm going to pivot after this question.
Right?
Is there any way, you being a developer, is there any way that Arcade 1-Up can actually fix that with the hardware that they have and make it not at least not? I'm not saying that it's going to be as good as Fightcade, but at least make it up to Marvel versus Capcom 1 level. That can they do
Cyrus, I never met you. If you're watching, call me. I'll make it happen. But it's not that difficult a thing, And even the guys who actually developed the emulator, they're probably already thinking the same thing I am. But my recommendation when John D was first doing the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 about a year before they was announcing and everything from there, I was telling him, if you're going to do Marvel 2, you're going to do it online, make the single player experience the arcade version, but make the multiplayer version the Dreamcast version. Reason why is because the Dreamcast version ran at a solid 60 frames a second. So when you're playing online, it'll feel like you're playing on Dreamcast. When you feel like you're playing but when you're playing online through the arcade version was never meant to be online. The Dreamcast version actually was online. So it'll play like it was an online game. And you'll have that different experience. It'll play better. It'll play like you're playing at an actual tournament, and then there's certain things you could do that might even have rollback built in, but rollback is a pain in the ass. Believe me, I tell you, I got Ryan doing rollback right now on games, and it's hard as hell. Vince will tell you, just doing the games we're doing, it's a pain in the ass. So, and we had to have, what Ryan had to do was completely redo and rewrite the GGPO network stack in order to do the rollback the way they want to do it. And
can they do it? That's can they do it? Yes or no?
They can, and it's not going to be easy. And
is it a lot of money behind it to make it happen?
I don't know. We're notoriously poor, so if you could throw me another Pepsi so I could throw my Wawa cup and throw Ryan a couple dollars, we'll make some things happen.
you hear what's happened, Cyrus? So absolutely get in contact with this guy.
We talk about Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
absolutely.
Tell you, their motto is they don't give a fuck. They're not gonna throw any money. They made what they're gonna make. They look at their margins onto the next fucking toy. We already sold what we're gonna sell. We got numbers, this and that. They don't give a fuck about investing more money.
I'm gonna say this. If I can get either Scott, John D, my mentor Jay Mason, my guy. If I can get somebody let me borrow $1 million, I'm going to Nintendo. I'm going to ask for Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong. The original Mario Bros, Popeye from King and Universal, that's the only real game changer that will make any real sense, that will make any real money in this thing. That's the only thing that will actually make any real money in this space anymore. Unless you have an open platform, you're not going to get nothing without Donkey Kong, without Mario Bros, and without the and without Popeye. If you get those old school Nintendo
Good to
games,
go, boss.
And maybe even the Play Choice 10 side of things, if you can get that in 3/4 scale, you give me $1 million, I'll get it out there.
All right, real quick, because we're over the hour. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna ask one question for Around the Horn. It was a 2-part question.
Okay.
All right. Do you think that the Casino-cade is the downfall? That means that it's officially over.
The downfall. I'm gonna
you shut up for a second, David. Let me finish the question. You'll have a moment to say what the fuck you gotta say. Okay? Is it the official downfall for this? Is it mean that it's over? That's one. The second question is, what would it take for Arcade 1-Up? Because again, they got the biggest piece of the pie. What would it take for Arcade 1-Up to come out with or do to save the community? Because at this point, I think it's on its way out. So
All
we'll
right.
start with OTG since he's
All
been
right.
quiet, the most quiet.
All right, yes, the community is fucking dead. As far as the Casino-cade, it was their opportunity to try something different, try and capture a different audience. It's obvious they're going after an older crowd, but to me, it's a fail, man. It's like everything they try to do, like when they try to go with TikTok, get the younger people, they're constantly trying to go after different age groups, a different community,
different
but they're so
demographics.
stupid they don't realize the community that made them money. It's the nostalgic, the old men, us people that love the retro games. Whether you see like big streamers that have like an arcade in the background, they don't even talk about 1UP. It's the nostalgia that I think hit so many different people, but I think their main group is the old people that love old games. But there are gonna be people that buy it, that remember it and this and that, and they got so lucky with the arcade. They're trying that with the Casino-cade. That's why when I see people like Biggie D shilling it and shit like that, I'm like, dude, you don't want this, because the last thing you want to do is make the company think that they succeeded in this Casino-cade, and then by false people buying it, trying to support the company just to keep it going, and then all of a sudden they start making more Casino-cades. They're just trying to throw shit on the wall and see what sticks. And unfortunately, I don't think this is going to stick. I don't think old ladies want this. They want to gamble with real money. They can use an app. There's so many ways to gamble.
So what would it be to save it? What would they need to do to save it?
What would they need to do to save it? Pay attention to the community that got you there, the hardcore community. As much as I don't like Qbert, as much as I don't want it, pay attention to titles like that. Come out with new titles. I understand the rehashes. You're always going to need rehashes for people who didn't get the games. I get it. They're getting better, and I love the designs. I know they're only getting better, but pay attention to those games that people want. We don't want to see another Buck Hunter. Wait till next year or something like that. We want the Time Crisis. We want something else. Bring it fresh. Keep the community excited, and I think that's the thing that can save them. Is stop wasting money on the bullshit that's going to make you a little bit money, and focus on the thing that brought you big money. And it's, I believe, the arcades, the 3/4 scale. That's what I think.
Mensa, same question.
I'm go a different route than OTG. I came into this whole thing and said I think the Casino-cade was a good idea. I think it would have been better off concept. To me, it's not always about money. I think it's just all about what can stimulate whatever the heck you call it in the head. But yeah, you got to listen to your community if you want things to push, but also this is the same community that asks for things that they'll sit there and show a $7,000 cabinet and go, oh, this is what we want, arcade 1UP. You can't afford it, so stop asking. I think we got to be reasonable in what we want, but I don't think there's nothing wrong about trying new things, because it's not always about us too. There's a whole other market out there. There's probably about 7 million people know that this YouTube exists, that know that even the website exists and actually has an arcade 1UP in their house. So I don't think it's always about marketing just to us. I think it's about the picture. That's just my opinion.
So what would they need to do to kind of regain the stuff of what it was for the home arcade community? What would they need to do?
I don't know if there is much they can do other than bring in new people, new blood. And I continue to do what they do. They're selling. I don't think they're not selling. I think they're selling. I don't think it's dying like people say. It may be dying for the people who already own 15 cabinets in their kitchen of them yet. And then I guess when that happens, then it'll be the next crew. But it's only going to last for so long. About 10 more years for sure, or less away. We're between 30 to 50 years old. The generation's going to go. People don't know arcades like us.
Okay. Damon,
Same
question for you. I know you love yourself a Casino-cade, so this is your time.
No. Just because I predicted the damn thing doesn't mean a damn thing. My $300 car is worth more than that damn Casino-cade. Okay? Look, the only thing that's really wrong with the Casino-cade, and y'all can all agree with me, is the design. The design sucks. The prototypes that had got leaked out that OTG had covered with photos from, I forgot the guy's name, those designs were nice. They had a lever action and looked pretty cool, but when they came out with this iArcade monster fucking build like they were in fucking Monster Garage back in the day, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. I don't know why they went with that design. Why did y'all cheap out when there was a major opportunity to be made to help the company all the way around? Because it would have influenced people to buy it and look at a different audience by putting out these different SKUs. What was it? Jeopardy, fucking.
You know what they said about just for your knowledge, they said that they would never do the claw machine because it was moving parts. You have to see that.
There's
would
motherfuckers
cause...
right now buying fucking little.
Are you gonna let me? Are you gonna let me listen? Are you gonna listen to me, bro? They said that the claw machine is moving parts and that it would be a hassle to do tickets and stuff like that when things broke. So they probably thought that handle was going to be an issue in the long run and probably cost more money. But I'm not saying that you're not right. You're right that it would have been cooler, but I think that's their idea behind it.
It would have been a lot better if they would have had more different SKUs of the damn thing and not just one fucking ugly ass SKU. They look like they just reskinned an iArcade. I just recently got an iArcade for the modding, but I mean, honestly, OneUp has been in trouble since. I mean, look at what they do with what's the game they're announcing on Tuesday?
Time Crisis, I think.
Time Crisis.
Yeah.
Remember the ugly monstrosity that got leaked out with the damn
But they
ice
fixed
chest
that,
next
right?
to it? With the ice chest next to it?
But
Remember that picture?
They had a different design, and
it was a
that
different
one,
design,
the newer one?
and now they redesigned it. It looks 10 times better. Well, they listened.
So
They didn't listen.
what would they need to do
The
to
wrong
fix
one got
to do better? What would they need
to fix
do
the
better?
Casino-cade?
No. In general, like the community, bro, like to keep Arcade OneUp alive.
Even though I'm not part of the OneUp community,
you're here. You're part. You're here.
No, don't go there.
Yeah.
Anyways, the way they fix it is by fucking being original. Go with what you know and what's out there already. Go with the designs that have been there since the fucking 70s and just do it. I know it's kind of hard. Oh, licensing, this and that. Well, you got fucking money. Spend it. You got to fucking spend money to make money, like they say. I'm a businessman. Look, I'm traveling right now in my fucking $300 car. That's why I came on here, because I was like, man, I got to get my
I just
2
want to
cents.
show off the car.
I know. I just want to show off the car.
The thing about OneUp, they don't like to spend.
I know,
Sorry.
and the problem is, look, John D, great guy. I've never talked to him, never said a word to him. I don't know him from Joe Schmo. Cool guy. Maybe it was the right time for him to get out of there. Maybe it's time to get some new blood in there. And honestly, hey, some young blood may be the next.
I don't think losing talent like that cannot be a good thing. Cannot be a good thing.
Yeah, and then, like they say, Trump not being president was a good thing. But I don't want to go into politics. Let's leave it alone, because
You started on that.
yeah, because honestly, John D was a great guy. I ain't saying that he wasn't. Cool, but the moves that he made, some of them weren't the brightest.
No, you're blaming the moves that were made and saying that it was John D. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that he wanted Marvel versus Capcom 2 to be awesome. It's out of his control.
Hey, no, he controls
Yeah.
everything,
Arcade OneUp.
UAG.
Yeah,
You might as well. He was writing checks and everything. He used to write Bill's checks all the time. Bill got his signature. Like, that's not his job. He is licensing. He is not.
He's licensing.
That's
No,
all
he's
he
the reason I
does.
got those cheap sticks. It's his fault.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. Don't fucking
Arcade OneUp.
yeah, all day long. It was
Right.
John's.
So I mean, why is this?
It
guy
was
never-
John's antics
anybody know
and
their name?
actions that affected everything when it came down to it. But to improve Arcade OneUp, they got rid of the old fool and they're bringing in new blood. And it's time to fucking get back to work and make sure that they don't go under. They're probably going to put themselves on the fucking market, and somebody probably like GameStop will buy them. And then fucking
GameStop is gone.
You know what
GameStop is
GameStop's
gone.
gonna do?
You stop
You know what
talking.
GameStop's gonna do? You know what GameStop's gonna do? GameStop's gonna fucking close it down and just take all
You
the
need
fucking.
to stop smoking that whack tobacco before y'all get on this air, bro.
Hey,
I'm
dude.
gonna-
Here's a good point, man, from J Cuts. You don't have John D to point the finger at now. There's
Now
still
what's gonna happen? Now what's gonna happen? They were like this. No, John, that was the decision before he left. He signed that
pointing the finger
paper.
at somebody else. They're already pointing the finger at what's his name?
The
Fucking wannabe
boogeyman
Matrix
is
fuck
gone.
You
What's
talking
the-
about Cyrus?
Cyrus. They're pointing the finger at him already. Come on, man.
No one's pointing the finger at him, man. They need to,
Man.
though. He needs to take some of the heat.
We gotta ask the question to Bill. This is almost, he's behind the scenes, so he may know more than anything. This might be the most important answers. Casino-cade. Was it a bad decision? Was it a good decision? Was it the downfall? Shoot.
So let me address this in a couple different ways. I gotta put on my CEO hat on this one, and which I hate doing. I'm sorry to tell you, I hate doing the Casino-cade. What I would have done if I was Tastemakers, I would not have put that under the Arcade 1-Up brand. I would have put that. I wouldn't have marketed to these people. I wouldn't have marketed. I wouldn't have put it under Arcade 1-Up at all. I would have done this completely different. I would have had it on Price is Right. I would have had this on those daytime talk shows with the chick from American Idol. I would have had it on Ellen. I would have had it on, on Steve Harvey. I would have had it on the place where people during the daytime go and congregate and impulsively buy where they don't have to. And
you're 100% on that.
Because it was, when you see Arcade 1-Up, you expect something specific, from Arcade 1-Up. And when you go that route, you go and you look at things from that perspective. So when I see Arcade 1-Up, that's what, I'm looking at, all right, this is Street Fighter, this is that. And then when I see Casino-cade from Arcade 1-Up, it's like, what the hell? This ain't what I wanted. This ain't what I asked you guys for. Mm-hmm. But if they would have put this under a different brand, like they have done before, like they did with that Pong table. That Pong table was a Tastemaker's product, but it wasn't under Arcade 1-Up. And, it wasn't the greatest product, but they could, write it off.
They could distance themselves from that.
It would have been a different thing. So with the Casino-cade, I would have put that under a completely different brand, tried it out there. If it made money, cool. If it then you come out and say, hey, we put this under this brand or that brand. I've done it plenty of times under different names for different things just to try it out. If it worked, cool. If it don't, that's cool too. But things that I'm known for, I write bash on it. Things that I know I'm gonna, that's in my staple, I'm gonna put bash on it. I'm gonna put my name on it. But if it's not in my staple, I'm going to try it out a different way, test the market out. If it makes money, cool. If not, that's cool too. But it's not going to be in the same market category as my people who already know what it's going to look for. So, if I'm going to do something like a pachinko machine, I'm not going to put it under bash unless I'm just doing some cool shit because I feel like doing it, which I'm known for. But
it should be a game show brand or something like that.
Yeah, it would be under a white label to where some people, who want to buy it, cool. Then I would put it under a completely different marketing strategy. I'm not going to have Justin Long there. I'm not going to have the FGC there. I'm not going to have anybody who does Arcade 1-Up things there to do all that stuff. If I'm getting Wheel of Fortune, I'm going to put it on Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to market it to my grandma. I'm going to market it to my mom. I'm going to market it to my dad.
The one good thing they did was put it on
there's
QVC.
There's one other thing that's affecting Arcade 1-Up. There is, that we haven't brought up. Them only going to Best Buy.
I'm going to talk about that too.
Well, so let's let Bill finish up let
him talk, Damien. Let him talk.
So Bill, what would Arcade 1-Up need to do to bring the community back whole?
Stop trying. Let me tell you what. Arcade 1-Up should stop making it their responsibility to keep this community alive. Just like iArcade needed to stop, just like At Games probably shouldn't try. And even with Mike Svabec coming in, what I think would be the smartest move from everybody is to leave the community to the community. Put out a product. If Arcade 1-Up wants to really research his community, put a big empty case, a box out here for $400 with the Killer Instinct level hardware and say, here you go, do whatever the hell you want. It would sell like hotcakes. The NVSX sold like hotcakes, literally because that's what you could do. You got 50 Neo Geo games on there, but you can't really do you can play whatever you want to play on there, but it's like that for what it is. The iArcade right now is selling, and it's selling better because it's opened up. The At Games is selling good because it opened up. The Bleak Blue is selling not because of the same Street Fighter over and over again. It's because it's opened up. When you open up everything, you open up everything. If we as a community stop looking to Arcade 1-Up to say, hey, what are you going to put out now that we want? Instead of saying, just give me a goddamn cabinet, I'll do what I want. And that's how I became a developer in the first place. I got sick of seeing the same shit over and over again. And I'm like, what? I'm going to put out something different. I'm going to try a few things. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's my responsibility to take care of my community. It's not Arcade 1-Ups. It's not iArcades. It's mine. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. It's our responsibility to make sure our community is taken care of, because we keep looking at Arcade 1-Up. We keep waiting for John D. No disrespect to him at all. We keep waiting for Jay Mason. No disrespect to him at all. We keep waiting for these big guys to come out and do things. Then we're never going to get what we want. We're always going to get what we get, and we're going to be told to be happy with what we get. We got to make it ourselves. We got to do what we got to do on our own. That's why I started Bash. That's why Bash doesn't make shit now, but we do. What we do is make sure the community understands we're going to put out what's best for them. And hence why, even now, to this day, people work with me knowing my past, because I come from notoriously hacking my own shit, because I made sure the community had whatever it is they wanted to have. And this is what we all need to do. We all need to make sure we can take care of our own shit. And we can't wait for Arcade 1-Up to take care of us. And, you know, the faster Arcade 1-Up learns that it's not their responsibility, the better off they'll do and sell more, because they'll say, okay, here you go. Here's what I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you shit. I'm going to give you this spot with some controls, a Linux or Android operating system, and a screen. Do whatever the fuck you want. Leave me alone. I guarantee you that would sell more than any product they have in the market.
So we're going to end this because we've been an hour 27 minutes. But before you leave, Bill, because you had a relationship with Unico.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't Unico? Couldn't they just give us a freaking whatchamacallit, a candy cab that open source and let it? Why don't we have that yet? So,
God damn it! You goddamn messiahs right there. I can't talk about this shit.
Come on.
Would you ask why we don't have a candy cab?
Why haven't they come out with a open candy cab that just, you know?
Have you seen the chat? You know, Bash members are on there, right? I can't talk about this right now.
We're supposed to get a candy cab according to Biggie D.
Drop. Well, Biggie D's right.
News.
Yeah. He said it was coming by next year, Arcade 1-Up. But if we was talking realistically, because that's a pipe dream, they already got the monitors out there. You know, people are testing it out. Why? Listen, if you have any pull over there still, Bill.
Hey, those monitors look good, man.
Yeah, there were some issues. I ain't gonna say, but Bill, you could talk to somebody, tell them that that's what the community really wants.
I know.
Okay, he'll do that for you.
All right. I can't talk. There's a lot of people with guns pointed at me that I can't really talk about this for. But just understand, when I tell you I hear you, I hear you. I've made probably one of the biggest moves in this retro gaming history that's going to shock the fuck out of everybody when I tell you what it is. But when they're ready to talk about it, I'll let them talk about it. But
how long we gotta wait? How long do you think we gotta wait for that?
That's up to those two guys. When they tell you, when they come out and they talk about it,
said two guys.
I can't tell you who the guys are, but when I tell you this, it's going to surprise the hell out of you. It'll never be who you think it is. But it's going to amaze the fuck out of everybody.
Console fanboys releasing something they watch.
it's an MK4 cabinet, but it only plays MK1.
I'll do
MK4. No one's doing MK4. Stop.
No, it's an MK4 skin cabinet that only plays MK1.
I'll get him MK4 for free if he lets me put Primal Rage on it.
I can't. But man, listen, there's a lot of hints there. You see, look at the whole screen. Maybe there's some things there. But anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming through. Appreciate you welcoming me back to the community. Give a thumbs up on the way out. We'll be back very soon, guys. Thank you, everybody, the panel, for coming through. Love you guys. Till next time. Peace.
Fuck it. God damn it. I got to get out of here before the cops come.
You got to run. You got to run.
I need to because...